I heard a vicious rumor that YouTube wasn't telling people that I was either recording videos or posting videos. So I don't know if I need to tell people to turn on the bell. I don't know what I need to do if that interests you. I kind of like it. We got our own little, corner of the internet. I think in some sense I'm shadow banned a little bit on all platforms because I've been here for so long, but maybe that's just me. I don't know. What's up, Zelva? I turned up the audio today. Now, inevitably, somebody's going to tell me I'm too quiet. Not much else I can do. You always get the YouTube notification. That's good. I mean, I don't want to be the guy who's like, turn on the bell, click the bell, hit subscribe. I don't really care. I just do this for the love of the game. Mainly do this because there's a lot of junk out there that I can't stand by and listen to it and watch it without saying something. That's good. You don't. I turned it up. I turned it way up. Bell's on. You got notifications. All right, that's good. I don't know. You never know. Sometimes. What's going on? Interesting. What's up, Karen? I think we're good to go. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for stopping by. If you want me to look at anything, let me know. This is a Celsius Blue t-shirt, by the way. I got this at, it's an antique. It is for sale. Bids start at 5 BTC. Just so you know, I'm not, Celsius. Boom. It's a collector's item. It's a collector's item. So we're at all-time highs. I don't really see too many people freaking out, but you don't get your gold medal at the track day of. You get it in practice. That's what they say. That's what they say anyway. Not that I've ever competed at that level. But what are we watching? We're watching the same stuff we always watch. Like, nothing changes. Once you have a system that works, you just go with it. So Williams Fractals would be what I would be watching here for trailing stop loss. That's currently at 102. Since the breakout, trailing stop losses with Williams Fractals have not steered you wrong. We had a bear div on RSI that has negated itself. We got a higher high and a higher high in RSI. So we're good to go there. The target for this move is 140 to 150. You've got pit stops from yearly pivots at 120 and 150. That's it. That's the stream. Thanks for coming. Why do I only stream in 1080p? Do I? It might be an OBS problem. Might be a restream problem. I can look into that. But price-wise, we look fine. We're still overbought on the TK stuff. TKC clamp has also honestly negated the biggest tell for a C clamp is when you get this like flattening for an extended period of time. Flattening plus huge separation just tells you watch out for that mean reversion. So to see the Kijun rising, that's great. Tenkan rising, that's another trailing stop loss you can use. We look fine. I can't see anything bearish here. Funding is fine. ETFs are buying, but not too much. They're not like shoving billions in every day. The only worrying thing is from a cycle perspective is the Bitcoin treasury nonsense. That just is what it is, but that just tells you there's a lot of money that's getting shoved into BTC on the spot side. So, what else is there to do? Really, nothing. This is just a hodl type environment at the moment for me. One other thing on RSI, we tend to see RSI do one of these where it like curves out like this. And people get freaked out when RSI is above 70 when it's an overbought. They're like, oh my God, it has to go down. That's just not what we see on BTC. We just don't. Even back here, we had a bear div on the daily. Continuous higher highs in price, continuous lower lows in RSI. That's a bear div. We do not have that yet. So look, we could chop around, we could go sideways, but I wouldn't sit here and expect a complete and utter collapse of whatever this is, despite being up 40, 50%, whatever it is now from the lows. What is it? We are 50%. Yeah. The numbers, theoretically, this cycle could get insane, right? They could get insane. If we pull this up, pick your favorite model. I don't care what it is. If this works for me. People love the power law. We can pull that up. It's a number at the end of the day. You can say, oh, it has to be this reason, X, Y, Z. This is why it has to do this. Okay. The number is the number. The number is currently 450. It's going to keep moving up. I don't think we get anywhere close to that, personally. But I'm going to look at the data every week and say, okay, where are we at? Buy, sell, or hold. This is a hold. Not much else to do. That's really it. You know, like, it's really not hard to do nothing. It's not hard to just sit there and hold on. 2-year moving average multiplier, same deal. I think it's at, what is it, 302, 303. So CoinGlass has this list. What? How many things are here? 30 things. 30 things. 30 data points. All of them have not been hit yet. So if you want like an idea of what to watch, this is a pretty solid list. All the things I talk about all the time. Certainly the things I care about. We have not seen altcoin outperformance, which happens at the end of the cycle. We have not seen NFTs take off. We have not seen Google Trends pick up. Nothing, you know, again, the price can be the price, but what we're seeing here is not what you'd expect to be the end of anything. This is just continuation. It's also important to take stock of things like the commitment of traders data, which has been correct. What does it say? Miners are still long, everybody else is short. Surprise, we go up. Surprise. Like, did that work as a signal? Absolutely. Was it predictive? Absolutely. Great. Let's look at gold. How's gold doing? Gold led this. What did everybody and their mother, including me, say? BTC follows gold. What's going on? BTC's following gold. Gold's doing a bunch of nothing. Gold's just consolidating. Let's look at liquidity. What did liquidity do? This is global liquidity with the 75-day offset. Keeps making highs. What did BTC do? Bottom and kept making highs, right? So doesn't mean this stuff won't work in the future or will work in the future, but it worked this time, just as people suggested it probably would. And you can add up this list of stuff. If you messed up whatever you're doing now and say, okay, what are some things to watch next time in 2029 or whatever, 2030, there's your list. Here's your list here. There you go. There's your list. Let's take a look. What does Chad have to say? What a wonderful day, says Chuck Norris. That's right. Pendle. Yeah, as a group, alts just kind of, you know, they're catching up. I'm too quiet. There's no way I'm too quiet. I'm yelling. I'm shouting. There's just no way. Just reading chat. What's up, Builder? We can take a look at miners. BE app FNA. Take a look at those. Let me write those down before I lose it in chat. Bera. So ultimately, I think BTC is another 25 to 50% in it. Potentially this quarter, certainly this year. I'm not bullish on September, August. That time frame has never been bullish. Doesn't mean we can't go up. It's just difficult. There's usually less people here. The volume is usually lower. It's kind of the summer lull period. This is the monthly heat map. Pre-post COVID, things kind of changed a little bit, but June post COVID has been mostly bearish. Pre-COVID, it was mostly bullish. July, certainly more bullish than bearish, and then August, September, forget it. Just forget it. Doesn't mean we can't have a plus 50% month. It's just, if you had to pick a month that we would be bullish, it would be October. So we kind of have to like get it out of our system here decently soon. And maybe June's like a down month, and then July we recover a little bit, and then August, September is horrible, and then October things look good again. Pendle. Yeah, MSTR I closed at 406. What is it, a week and a half ago now? That was a great close by me. What's up, Jack? Great close by me. It's gone nowhere. Yeah, if we see the type of flows that people are saying we're gonna see, sure. Like we have the momentum, clearly. Clearly have the momentum. How much percentage BTC will hold in minimal no matter what through bull and bear? At least 50%. But that number changes throughout the cycle. I don't, my cold storage is my cold storage. I don't touch it. Institutional versus retail on M2, yeah. Serve, I don't know, is Serve I'm gonna assume TradFi. Yeah, you're right. I don't get billions of views when there's not clickbait. When does Sailor start buying LTC? Not gonna happen. Only concerned is timing. Months since halving. Yeah, we can look at that as well. That's actually, it's on the stock to flow chart. So typically we tend to top out, what is it, 800 days until the next halving. So like we are getting into the green area. I don't think this would allow for, I think stock to flow is nonsense, by the way. I'm just using this for the heat map. We're getting in the wheelhouse of where we typically see a cycle top, like within the next, what day is this, does it say? Within the next 200 days. So I guess, yeah, that's Q4. Like to be bullish into 2026 is probably silly until we see what happens. Just verbatim. Yeah, based on what we've seen previously. To expect bullishness in 2026 is probably silly. We would have to break the model, right? We'd have to break the cycle. Uni. Yeah, I still like ENA. I don't know. There's not much else I love. I think MSTR stops outperforming. MSTR's problem is it got too good at telling other companies how to do its strategy, right? So you have not only do you have competing ETFs that are levered, you've got competing micro strategies or strategies, right? So like if this slows down a little bit, people are going to go elsewhere. They don't care, right? They don't care about Sailor. They don't care about MicroStrategy. They just want to see crazy numbers. Now the stupidly wealthy MSTR bulls, the like group of 20 of them or whatever, that always talk about MSTR, they're not going anywhere. But new money is looking to like a meta planet, right? What is it? MTL. Yeah. They're going here. Or they're going to SEP. Or they're going to pick one, right? Like there's a lot of them. It's similar to miners pre and post MSTR existing in their strategy. Because nobody's satisfied with BTC returns. Nobody. They always want more. They always want to add more leverage in some fashion. That was with miners previously. Then it was with MSTR. And now it's with other Bitcoin treasury companies. And just as people trade alts because they think they can beat BTC, mostly they can't. They'll go there too. But the legacy money isn't just all in MSTR anymore. It's got options to do other stuff. Haven't even seen your brother-in-law asking about BTC. Yeah, we're so early. We're so early. It is the radium for Sui. Deep. Okay. Explain what it is like. We're not breaking 200. Can it go to like 500? So I think most people need to be here for a couple cycles to understand the market. So if like you're new and it's like a passing fad, I would just DCA and not stop. I would DCA for 2 years and see what happens. That's just me, but that's not what everybody wants. Everybody wants the quick return. You just have to have patience. Momentum is stupid. Nobody's here. And we have a ton of Bitcoin treasury companies. Technicals look amazing. Even if this pulls back 10 to 15%, so what? Like it looks fine to me. Here's hype. We had people talking about end of cycle stuff for months, and we're back to all-time highs again. We're gonna have people talking about double top again if this does pull back. Again, it looks fine to me. Volume profile, turn down everything else. Yeah, I don't know. When I listen to the stream, it sounds fine to me. And I'm not cranking my volume either, so I don't know. I don't know what it is. Serve Robotics. Rivian. Yeah, Rivian's another one. To me, it's like a 6-month play, at least. So I still like it. Just gonna take some time. I think. Just based on the technicals. Moo Dang, I don't need to look at that. What am I going to tell you about Moo Dang? That's unnecessary. Doge, edge to edge playing out. Absolutely. We can take a look at Doge. We definitely will. Hit the stage of hit the Doge. I mean, yeah, we still have companies announcing shitcoin treasuries. Sol, ETH. I'm sure there's going to be more. Is that late cycle? It's for sure late cycle, but they haven't bought yet, right? So like, okay, like they're still buying, right? Doesn't mean you should sell today. Sui Eco went to 0. Yeah. What about a massive reaccumulation into next cycle? Yeah, there's some weird, if we go to like, I had it up here somewhere. Is it this one? Yeah. Like there's a possibility where we just keep ping-ponging on the channel, right? Or there's a possibility where we just go to the end of this pitchfork and then bounce. And then we're just like out of sync with everything. But I think ultimately it's going to be based around liquidity. What are we seeing today? We're seeing Republican. I need to say that 3 times because these are the people who tell you they're fiscally conservative. Republican tax bill that's going to be adding to the debt and deficit. They're raising SALT deductions. They're raising state whatever. They're doing nothing to help it other than cutting Medicaid that I've seen. That's not a political statement. This is the facts. Okay. So if that's going on, there's going to be no slowing down of anything. Yields are going to keep going up. So yeah, send it. Send BTC. Why wouldn't it keep going up? No one's having any restraint at all. Robotics picks and shovels RR. Okay. Sounds fine, sounds fine, sounds good. Okay, it's not just me. Quantum stocks going parabolic. So I have a buddy. I'll pull it up now just because I think it's hilarious. It's funny. We talk about this. He knows it. Classic retail mentality, right? Like focused on this, focused on all of the leveraged ETFs. Doesn't know how to properly take profit or apply stop loss, despite my my tutelage. You know, people just have to learn. So what did I tell him? He's been holding Rigetti for a little while, maybe like a couple weeks. I said, this chart looks great. Keep holding. Just give it some time. Put a stop loss at sub 10, maybe 950, whatever. What did he do? Sold it yesterday. Bought a leveraged gold ETF. It's up 30% today. You know, once you screw up yourself enough, you will start to learn. Or you just don't and you never make money, right? But, you know, this is classic retail. This is the thing he bought, Nugget, which isn't even gold. It's gold miners. It's just funny. Super funny that it's up 30% today. Most people just need to do nothing. Find something that looks decent, that has a whiff of a narrative or a tailwind. Don't get married to it and just do nothing. This chart had Adam and Eve all over it. It had inverted head and shoulders all over. We talked about this thing for weeks. Anyway, it's just funny. It's just funny. No, it looks like I'm talking away from the mic, but I'm really not. I promise you. INIT, Shiv, AVAX, SWE, FET. Yeah, we can take a look at this. Vanilla Cloud long on Pepe. Yeah, where's the campaign province? You know, the tariff stuff got put on and put back. It was all about Main Street, and now we're just forgetting. Who cares, right? We're removing taxes on tips, allegedly, whatever that means. Like, they're all the same. Democrat, Republican. They talk a big talk and do nothing. So, here we are. Here we are, Joey. Here we are. At what point do yields go high enough? Yeah, that's the bond vigilantes argument, is that you can try to pass whatever you want to pass, just what happened in the UK with the Liz Truss budget, mini budget. You can try to get away with that, but eventually people are going to say enough's enough, and you're going to have to back down. So, yeah, I think, like everybody else, the Fed's going to have to step in eventually. Maybe that's 5% on the 10-year, maybe it's 6% on the 10-year, I don't know. But doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. Stop accumulating now. Back to the strategy, DCA, yeah, it's again, this TK stuff. We can pull up an indicator for that. Let me just find it real quick and put it somewhere. Here it is. It's another way of like using RSI, basically. It's just an oscillator. It's called price versus key June. And we can look historically, turn off that cloud. Historically, how overbought or oversold can we get? We're in the wheelhouse of what we've seen, of what we have seen. Other than March, we're right there on that level. Previous cycles, it gets way crazier. So that's the read. You know, we are overbought. We have moved up quickly, and that's what the TK lines are telling you. So it just says, you know, be careful. Again, the James Wynn stuff, I talked about this in one of the videos. I don't understand going 40x long at the Pico top. He made it. great, good for him. That's a terrible lesson for people, I think. Terrible. But good for him. So far, so good, though. This hasn't mattered. Hasn't mattered. What's up, Crispy? Bit dear, undervalued. Man, miners just have not traded well. 333K by July was an idea from 2023 based on the power law. That's where that came from. It really had nothing to do with the cycle. Good for Bitcoin, stagflation, current cycle. Okay, I'm caught up with chat. All right, let's look at some charts. That's why we're all here at the end of the day, huh? This is Kraken Pro. You can get an account, the link in the description of this video. I need to say that because I don't say that enough. Some people are trading elsewhere. They're trading on exchanges that give away your KYC information. Exchanges that just added 4-hour candles. You know, this is not that exchange. It's interesting, just looking at volume here on Kraken. Tether actually has the second highest volume outside of BTC. I don't know if that's a risk-off signal or somebody's just arbing. This is one of the reasons why I think we had the Tether prints. It's a good little data point to just track. If we go to like line, if this gets well above $1, like it got to like, you know, it doesn't look like a lot, but when you're talking about billions of dollars coming in and arbing this, it's a lot of basically, you know, free money. So if we're talking about, that's the dollar line. Since April 21st, we've been at a premium. Now you would think because of fees and redemption and the process that there would just always be a little bit of a premium on Tether. That's not the case. When you see a premium on Tether, that's usually because people are using stables to bet on alts. So that's why you see the premium go up. It's why you see Tether coming in and printing, because either they are arbing it, which I don't know if they've said that or not, or somebody else is arbing it. But to see this premium persisting is very bullish for speculation. Ethereum. ETH BTC looks like it's really gone nowhere. Somebody asked if this was an inverted head and shoulders. I'm not against the idea of like something like this, you know. If you're bullish ETH, like what do you care here, right? What's your target for ETH? Is it 4K? Because that's kind of stupid. Like it needs to be higher. It needs to be much higher for me to justify sitting in this thing, because there's just better stuff to trade. So if your target on ETH is 10K, then what do you care? It's at 2, you know, like as long as it's trending bullish, that's fine. It hasn't broke all-time high yet, and it's 25% below all-time highs. It looks fine, you know, like, would I trade this on leverage here? No, I don't think there's a good enough setup yet. I would want the cloud to be fully bullish. So I don't like ETH. I don't like 10x leverage on ETH. That's just me. I'm looking for setups. I'm looking for very specific things. I don't see that on ETH. But it's clearly the more bullish than it's looked in a long time. Back above the cloud there for the first time in months. Now we'll see if we can get more of a continuation than we saw in Q4. But it's just, you know, vanilla cloud stuff, bullish Kumo twist coming up here probably eventually. That's all I got, really. You know, as I think some people have been drawing this out, you could say, well, what's the most optimistic case? Let's say it's I don't know. I don't even know what you could call it. Let's just pretend. Let's just, you know, hand wave a few things here and say it's an ascending triangle. It's a 5-year ascending triangle. How would we measure that? Take your high, take your low. That's how you get the level. Okay, fine. Like, if you're a believer in that, then yeah, I like ETH here. I'm just not a believer. I want to see what it does at all-time highs. I want to see where Bitcoin is when we get there. Something else you could consider this potentially is some sort of wedge thing. I don't know. Nothing in the moment tells me that this is just a great setup here. There's a bullish TK recross on a 4-hour, but it's just kind of like, okay, you know, it's fine. It's fine. Ripple, not that anybody's asked me about Ripple, but Ripple's like the classic retail trader, you know, like my friend I just talked about. You know, they'll buy the top or they'll sell before this moves. But like ETH, if you're bullish Ripple, anything above 250 should be go time. Anything above 250, and you should start to see volume come in. You should start to see momentum. This looks decent if we delete all this stuff and we just say, okay, we survived the head and shoulders, tried to break down and didn't. Now maybe we have something like this. Fine. We can measure that conservatively. You get 3, 4. That's probably a new all-time high. I'd have to check, but that to me is like end of cycle, potentially. Depends on timing, but certainly if it happens this quarter, I would expect stuff to pull back. XRP is the only coin you have since 2018. Oh man. See, Jack's still got the bear goggles on. We're at all-time highs on BTC, and Jack's like, no, you know, too bearish. Looks bad. What did he say? An M on... Like, you're looking at this? Is this what you're saying? I guess, you know, if you see that, then you're just not trading ETH, right? Which is fine. I don't think anybody should be trading ETH. I'm not going to disagree, but what is actionable here? You know, to me, the daily is actionable because it's bullish for the first time in a long time. Trend is flipping. To me, I don't go any farther than that if I was actually trading this. Zoomed in, 2024. Oh, this. Yeah, but we've recovered now. I don't know. It's just slop. It's just not a good chart. It just isn't. Until it's back above 4K, I kind of just don't care. Imagine if ETH was a proof of work. Yeah, could have really been something. Need New York to allow Kraken? Yeah, I don't know what's going to change that. Somebody's asked me about Uni 20 times. I see it, Vince. I'll get to it. Sol, the target on Sol hasn't changed since May. It's 200, 195-ish, 200 plus. You could say this is a cup and handle. I don't hate that idea. The pattern, like, it doesn't matter what this is. The cup and handle people will come after you and say it can't be a cup and handle. It's off the bottom. It's got to be continuation cup and handle. But if you measure this as a breakout, whatever, 275, 350, am I fully on board with that here? I don't know, but I think that's what you'd need to see to justify getting in this here, right? Like, you need to see additional upside because it kind of just hasn't gone anywhere. I don't hate a stop loss at 160. Just see what happens. But it's not above the cloud yet. It hasn't completed its edge to edge yet. Just kind of stuck in the mud a little bit. SWE, higher volume today, obviously with the DEX hack. Been an interesting chart. In a vacuum, it looks great. It's a little overbought based on going up in 3 days and then going flat for 3 weeks, but trend-wise, it looks fine. So I don't hate that. It's just, again, vanilla cloud. Everything on the cloud is telling you it's bullish. Really not much else to say. I guess we could also say, well, maybe this is a cup and handle. What would the target be? Now we're getting silly stuff on all these charts, right? Is everything a cup and handle? Is there a cup and handle if we go way out? Not really. I think anything that's recovered, the fibs that make the most sense are just the previous all-time high to the current low. What is that measured higher? That, again, that's BTC at 150. So we'll see if alts can keep up, but that's what you'd want to see here for continuation. I thought Sol also had, it's like a super old, right? Forget the guy's name. He used to come in here all the time asking me, if you think this is a cup and handle, then what do you care what the day-to-day movements are, right? This is a 10x plus if you think it's a cup and handle. Is that actionable? What do you do with that, right? Cup and handle, boom. What do you do with that information? Anything? Do you just buy? I think you just hold, right? You just hold with a trailing stop loss. You can also look at the 20-week as a trailing stop loss for alts. Currently, we're just above the 20-week. I wouldn't use a trailing stop loss before the breakout. So after this breaks out, if it breaks out to new all-time highs, then I would use the 20-week. What happened last time we used the 20-week at that breakout? It kept doing the trade for like 4 months. If you don't like that, use Williams fractals, but you can't be bullish on a weekly idea and then go to the hourly and say, oh man, I don't know. It hasn't popped to infinity yet. You just have to literally forget about it. Say, okay, it's going to do its thing without me. I just need to have time. Patience. I agree. It is time for Jack to do another. Get out here and defend his bearishness. All right. Just so I can stop reading this in the chat, let's look at Uni. I agree. It is setting itself up for an edge to edge. How long this will take to play out, I have no idea. It has a decent, this would be the risk reward profile. Let's say you're long right now. Target is there. Let's say it's 10. Your stop loss would be, I would just make it new lows. So that is a 4 on the risk reward. Is that going to happen? I have no idea. That's how I would set up that trade. To me, Uni and DeFi in general hasn't traded super well. So this is what you're dealing with. It's gone nowhere since 2021. I would prefer to trade Maker personally. Maybe I'm crazy, but I like Maker on the edge to edge. I like Maker on the breakout. Whatever we drew here, I forgot about some sort of broadening, expanding wedge, declining, whatever. So I like Maker USD. I like Maker BTC. It's not pretty, but it's there. That's my one DeFi chart personally that I like. What was the name? What was the volume name that's on the side of the chart? That is volume profile of the visible range. Pretty sure if you just type in profile, yeah, if you just type in profile, VPVR. You can also do this, which I didn't talk about. You pick 2 points, right? Did it not show up? Where'd it go? One of these, you can pick 2 points. fixed range. Is it like this? Oh, there it is. Okay. So instead of saying like, you know, scrolling the chart, like looking, lining it up, you can just use this and say, okay, what is the volume profile for this specific zone? And it's, you know, basically kind of shows you like where the neckline is on a breakout level, where the level you'd expect prices to start to get moving. XYZ we can talk about. People asking me about curve. Yeah, anything like, look, this isn't me talking. This is just the cloud. I'm going to tell you what the cloud is telling me. So absolutely. Looks good, right? Looks fine. Vanilla bullishness. The one last thing you could do if you aren't sure is turn on the lagging span, which for me, is this going to work? Sometimes my settings bug out. I don't have it on, but you can turn on the lagging span. The lagging span is going to be 30 periods behind price, so it's still going to be in the cloud. If you want to be ultra conservative, you wait for the lagging span above price and above cloud. It's currently above price, it is not above cloud. So the cloud purists would tell you not to go long yet. I would tell you it's good enough. And yeah, you can start opening trades here. This also has like cup and handle stuff, right? Looks good, right? You know, like I think it's just gonna take some time for these alts to catch up, if they catch up. It's a little bit of a gamble, but you're basically hoping that all this stuff is on sale relative to BTC. And not only will it catch up to BTC, but it will then surpass BTC. That's how you really make the money, really make the cheddar, is alts being alts again. Make alts alts again. Ma. No, I haven't talked about Doge yet. We're getting bogged down. We're getting bogged down here with lagging span enjoy. Yeah, Roe Jogan, big lagging span enjoy. All right, let's just bang some of these out so we're not here for another 3 hours. Anything that looks like this, I love it. I love it. I'm not going to touch it here. I just don't care. But I love it. Looks great. Cloud thinks it's great. Doge. Doge is trading like Sol. It has a ceiling at 28 cents that you would want price to get to. Is it an entry here? I don't know. Probably not for me, but what is your target? Is your target 50% of the drawdown, which is the cloud, or is your target a measured move above the range, which would be like $1, Doge to $1? I don't know. Anything you're bullish on, I would just buy on spot and come back in July. All of this stuff's going to look okay. Most of it's going to look kind of like Doge does, where it's like it's not fully trend bullish yet. ADA is another one. Not trend bullish. Where's the trade here? Similar to Ripple. Ripple above 250 is ADA above 85 cents. There's certainly a pattern here, right? Sure. Measure it out. Like, you don't even need me. You don't need to watch this stream anymore. That's why we don't have any views. That's why we don't have any subs. I've just taught people so well. They just stop watching. They say, you know what? I don't need you anymore. Joshua, I don't need you. I feel like there's something in my nose. That would be that. You know, that would give you a cloud breakout. It'd give you a pattern. Pepe, people asking as well. Yeah, it's above the cloud. I like curve better positioning wise than this, but why? I don't know. This is always the ideal, where we just go flat and then break out. This is a little tougher because it was down, consolidated for a little bit, straight up to the 50% level. You can trade anything with a stop loss, right? Like you could say, well, any lower lows, I'm out, but it looks good here. All right. You know, why not? I wouldn't trade that on leverage. That's just me. Nobody asked for this, but we're going to look at it. Trump 4-hour looks damn good. Looks damn good. Looks very, very good. Looks very, very good. I'm not going to touch it, but it looks good. Whiff is in that awkward spot where, what do you do here? I don't know. I don't see anything for me. Nothing for me. Hype. I thought they had that on here. Yeah, so what do you do with this? I'd watch it on the 4-hour. Use a trailing stop loss. I'm gonna go blow my nose. I'll be right back. The last thing you want, chat, the last thing you want is your AI avatar to have a booger in its nose once you're long gone, you know what I mean? All right, hype. 4-hour. And the same is going to be the case for BTC. Once BTC really gets moving, you have to go down a time frame. So are these perfect on the 4-hour? No. 6-hour, kind of noisy. 8-hour, you know, it's not good, but what else are you going to use? Daily Williams fractal down there, 24. I got nothing for you. Just trending, right? So maybe you don't even use the fractals. You just say, like gold, I'm just waiting for the bearish TK cross. I don't know. But the problem is people are on such high leverage, is my guess, that they wouldn't survive the pullback, you know? So I don't know. Where can this go? 50, 100? I don't know. Why not? SEP, we looked at it, Ben. I got nothing TA wise. I have no idea. We can go to like the 4-hour, I guess, but I got nothing. You know, if you're trading this, you're gambling 100%. I would check the MNAV. I don't know. It's like Metaplanet. That's at like a 10x NAV to assets. That doesn't make any sense. Instead of shilling why don't you shill us a coin or two? I got nothing to shill, man. That's what we've been talking about for weeks. Setup Sunday. Setup Sunday is a thing to identify those setups. I got nothing. What chart here that is like actionable today? I don't know. I don't know of one. ENA looks okay. I guess that's my other like DeFi play. It's just like waiting for a breakout. But from week to week, is there anything that next week is going to be up 50%? I don't think so. I don't think so. FET, because most of this stuff, like you don't need me to tell you, oh, it's in the middle of the cloud, cool, or it reached its edge to edge and the expectation is nothing. You get out here, you watch, you wait for a bottom, you try to get in here, you play that to here. The next trade is the opposite of what happened in December. A breakout above the cloud. That's not going to happen this week. So yeah, I don't have any grand ideas here. MSTR class action law. Yeah, that lawsuit's bogus. I wouldn't worry about it. If you're logged in, someone's asking about the cloud settings stuff. If you're logged in, you should be able to edit the settings. I'm not logged in right now. Prime. Yeah. Didn't somebody ask me about this one? I think I wrote it down, right? It's the same piece of paper. Prime. Yeah, there's an idea for you. Bottom of the cloud. Stone cold bottom. Hasn't moved really at all. Certainly has something here, right? There's a diag you can draw. Stop loss, new lows. Yeah, there's an idea for you. There you go. Chuck Norris. There's your setup of the day. Prime. Prime. All right, Pendle. Pendle. It really hasn't gone anywhere, huh? I don't know. Like, again, fresh bullish stuff. Put this in the sit on it bucket. Watch a trailing stop loss. That's it. That's all I got for you. It's unexciting, I know, but good things happen above the cloud. Look what happened to BTC. It just like a champion, held above the cloud. Daily Williams fractals. Nothing lower, my preference. Anybody can use whatever they want, but I wouldn't go lower than daily on anything here. Stop loss, stop loss, stop loss, stop loss, stop loss. Hasn't triggered once. You know, that's, if you want to like simplify this down to bare bones, that's what I would do. So curve, Tau, Pepe. You don't want to sit in this for a 2% gain, right? Like if you're trading alts, you want to trade alts for 25% gains, obviously, right? But you have to be patient. Are those going to outperform BTC in the near term? I have no idea. Here's Tau. Can't remember if we talked about this, but looks okay. Looks okay, right? Looks like curve. Put it in that bucket. Maybe open 10 trades and sit on them for a week. Cull the trades that look like trash a week from now and hold on to the rest. I don't know. That's one way to do it. Ocean. Yep, middle of the cloud. Needs more time. I would expect anything that looks like that. Solana's in this category too, right? Where it's going to take its sweet time to do whatever it's going to do in the cloud. Just, you know, whatever, right? And June, July, maybe we see that, right? But you have to have the patience. It's like the Rigetti. Like, again, none of this stuff is different. It's all the same. It's technicals. Nothing, once you find a system that works. If we go to Rigetti on the daily, why did I tell my buddy that I like this? We were above the cloud. Good things happen above the cloud. I just think he couldn't eat the volatility. He couldn't stay logged out of his account long enough to just eat it. But this is what you want. You just want something above moving averages, above the cloud. So to expect Ocean to do anything right now, my expectations would be low. Once this pulls up above the cloud in June, July, yeah, I like it a lot. Just the possibility. Joey says Doge weekly. We're going back to Doge. This is for Joey. Doge Weekly. What a mess. What a mess. I got nothing for you. I have no idea. Is this like a channel or something? I don't know. Didn't we draw this at one point as a channel? I don't know. I got nothing. It's in a really awkward spot on the cloud. No idea. Does a rendered look like fat? We got 10 minutes. I didn't even look at legacy yet, so we'll flip to legacy here in a second. Yeah, renders just, you know, middle of the cloud. Put it in that bucket. Are you above the cloud, in the cloud, or below the cloud? If you're in the cloud, I would trade it to the edge of the cloud. If you're out of the cloud, hold on to that puppy with a trailing stop loss. And if you're not into the cloud like Tia, there is zero justification. Zero. I don't care. I just don't care. You can shill me any fundamental reason. You can shill me any chart pattern, any narrative. I just don't care. Until this thing is fully bullish, I don't care. It's just not worth it to me. It says nothing about Tia, by the way. I'm just saying charts that look like this and have disappointed, not for me. XYZ, as people are asking, is another one. This is block. XYZ. Daily, there's clearly some sort of broadening wedge, but that's not really the problem here. All right, you got this. It's trying to break up. Fine. The problem is this thing's set up beautifully for years, briefly broke out, and then gave it all back. That's just not for me. Not for me. Now, last week, to be fair, I said Semler wasn't for me, and what did it do? Plus 25% the next day. Semler's got an edge to edge to 55 on the daily. I don't know. It's not for me here. It's like too late, right? MSTR. What is there to do here? I think you use a trailing stop limit with the Williams fractals. So if we pop on the fractals, currently that would be up here at exactly 426. It's again in a really awkward spot where it's disconnecting to the downside to the market that's outside of technicals. It has this TK separation. It did really, really well ahead of everything. It just did not see continuation up here. So even if it breaks 426, you're still overbought, right? It's a weird cloud setup here. You could probably argue. Now, most people, to be fair, should just not be trading MSTR. Like, if you're bullish on an alt, if you're bullish on MSTR to 800, do nothing, right? Like, people just can't help themselves. Grass is always greener somewhere, they think. Maybe we see something like this. I don't know. It just doesn't look like a compelling chart to me here at the moment. There is a little bit of a head and shoulders thing there. A little bit. It's going to be interesting if this breaking down is a leading signal to BTC. I don't know. So isn't there a difference between Doge and ENA? Yes, ENA has much more upside. Like, I'm just eyeballing it, but if you strictly are measuring all of these and you say my top side is limited, let's just say entries today, top side is limited, stop loss for any of these is always any new lower low or the cloud or the Kijun. In this case, it's about the same. This is a 4.7. Why is it like this? It's because it collapsed, right? it went down like 80%. So I like the potential payoff here more than Doge. That's it. Thanks, MC. Tron, good play with stablecoin. I don't know. I'm not a fundamental person to even answer that. KULR. I have an alert here at 160. You can probably see that. I don't care about this thing until it's above 160. That's just me. That's just my style. I need some momentum. So maybe it's a triple bottom or something. If you like it here, again, with any chart, I said this for months going down on alts. If you like those charts, fine. But what I would do is have a stop loss at a new all-time low or a new local low or one of these lows. Not all of these charts will play out as expected. Some of them will disconnect. Some of them won't recover. Maybe that's the one you picked. Not saying that's this chart, but whatever it is, be prepared for that. So if you're trading something like this to the long side, because of the setup, I would still put a stop loss on that. This hasn't triggered yet. The pattern isn't complete and the edge-to-edge entry isn't there yet. That's why I like 160 better than 125. I just like seeing the confirmation. Hidden bolded 4-hour RSI. The problem with MSTR isn't the 4-hour RSI. The problem is it's negative on extremely positive days for BTC. So that's the problem. That's the problem right now. And there's a lot of other things to trade, like this, or like SEP, or, you know, what have you done for me lately is the question people are asking when they're trading stuff like MSTR. Toshi. We gotta go Coinbase. It's just in the middle of the cloud. I got nothing for you. Really nothing to say there. Some of these others on the legacy side, BE, Bloom Energy. Who keeps asking me about this one? I feel like we look at it every week. Hasn't really gone anywhere. I don't know. I don't like opening longs below the cloud unless you have a pattern. So this sort of puked out the cloud. Until this is back above, it's not for me. I like XLU a lot. That's pulled back, but sure, it's above the cloud, right? PGR, this is probably pulled back too. Yeah, it's above the cloud. Still like it. So that's the type of chart I like. That's what I like to see. I like to see positive momentum first. Rivian, people are asking me about that one. There are two ways to look at this. You can say, what is the 50% retracement from all-time high to all-time low? That is 38.74. That is one level you could target. Second, you could say this is a giant falling wedge. What is the measured move higher? That is 104 to 187. That would be basically back to IPO. If you think that's remotely possible, if you think Solana to 2000 is remotely possible, do nothing. Just hold it, right? Like the upside here versus downside risk is enormous. So there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. You just wait it out. I think, what does VPVR tell us? Not super helpful. Looks like there's a little volume shelf at 24. 24, 26, 32. I don't know. It's tough. There's not, you know, there's not a lot of overhead resistance on volume. So I like this idea to 2026 January, you know, just see what happens. It took 4 years to break down. You got to give it time. And Hood is a great example where people just could not be patient. They could not be patient and wait for this thing to break up, right? Years going sideways, give it time. Let it cook, chat. Let it cook. Let it cook. INJ, all right, let's take a look. Then we'll bang out some more and get out of here. INJ. It's like a lot of these. It's just in the middle of the cloud. Maybe a cup and handle thing. But I don't have anything, any special analysis for you there. All right, app 11. It's kind of sitting at the cloud. Really nothing for me there. What's Palantir up to? Palantir's pulling back a little bit. Trailing stop loss at 104. FMCC. Freddie Mac. Is that a new all-time high? That's because Trump said he wants to take it public, right? I mean, the cloud loves it. The cloud loved it for a few days now. So, sure, why not? FNMA, Fannie Mac, same deal. Ascending triangle, cloud stuff. You know, it's like you're playing this for continuation, but if you're asking me today if it's an entry, I think you're a little late personally, but the chart looks fine. Serve Robotics in the cloud there on the daily. Does feel a little bit late. You know, your upside's limited. This is like a tough, it's a tough trade because you had this gap up on here. It wasn't in the cloud yet. Didn't have a bullish TK across. Didn't really have a pattern. I don't know. You know, it's no Rigetti, right? it's no Rigetti. It looks fine. It's just, I don't know what you do with it here. Rivian we looked at. Rich Tech Robotics. Yeah. Is this a, it kind of has that Rigetti fractal. It looks okay. It looks okay. On the EV side, Tesla, what happened? You got your edge to edge. Now it's just waiting, consolidating. Rivian, we talked about XPEV. Massive W. Huge move, huge weekly pattern there. Mobileye hasn't broken out yet. EH just consolidating. Doesn't look horrible, but I wouldn't be confident to throw any money at it. QS just infinite down. That one's a no. Neo infinite down. That one's a no. Lucid trying the bottom. Hasn't done anything yet. Polestar trying the bottom. Hasn't done anything yet. Plug infinite down. Yikes. Infinite down. Uber hit a new all-time high over the past week. Still looks fine to me. Lyft, I like it better. A little higher. Looks fine. Rigetti I just threw on here for the lulls. With you on this, not signaling you have this anymore. Like this is the beginning. Maybe have some patience. Yeah, there's some start of end of cycle stuff, like all these bogus companies spinning up a Bitcoin treasury. But I think we're just getting started on that front. UNH, no, I don't buy blood generally. So no, it's just not for me. This thing is a mess. I would want to see like a multi-week pattern play out here before I was confident enough. Because yeah, you can throw $50 at anything, but you're just gambling. What does my system tell me? My system tells me I need more information. We didn't even look at S&P, by the way. The dream here on the S&P would be to get a shoulder, a right shoulder. I don't know if we're going to get that. Because you have this, like, this thing, right? Super deep. Maybe you see this, maybe you don't. I don't know, but UNH is pretty far away from anything like that looks like that. XMR looks good. Like I said, you can't really trade it. The signals are fine, but it just kind of does its own thing. It's not going to outperform the market over a long period of time. This is XMR chart looks like ETH should look, right? If you're bullish XMR, you want this thing to go to like 2000. This is a decade-long ascending triangle. 2000. Look at that. Look at that, chat. I'm just, boom. I just eyeballed it. 2000. I eyeballed the fibs. They're just hardwired in me. 2000 to 5000. If I was seriously trading this, that's where I'd want it to go. LTC, by the way, similar concept. It's got this ascending triangle. I think it looks... Yeah, so LTC is not as close to the breakout all-time high as Monero, but it's the same concept. For LTC, I would play that one to the previous all-time high. So that's a 3x from here. That's what I would want. If I was serious about this, that's what I'd want to see. And for Monero, if you're buying it here, I'd want to see this breaking all-time highs to 2000. Monero's the only legit alt. Rune is tough because once you have that fundamental, like once your blockchain breaks, then you've got problems. You got problems. Rob's out here. Rob's doing the Lord's work. He's like, what about the 30-year interest rates? All y'all asking me about fart coin. Rob knows where the money's at, and that's the 30-year. This thing looks like it's ready to go into infinity. If this was any other chart, you would say, my God, this looks good. We talked about this probably last week. Inverted head and shoulders all day. Bullish T, right? You know, it's just technicals. It doesn't matter what this is. This looks like it's going higher, which means it looks like TLT is going lower. Oof. Yeah, it's going to be interesting if we see some banks get into conservatorship or whatever from the FDIC if we start breaking down again. You would think they would have had long enough to unwind their long end of their balance sheet, the hold to maturity stuff, but that's a yikes. That's the wrong cloud, whatever, it doesn't matter. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. All right, that's all I got. In the comments of this video, if there's something I didn't look at, just say, hey, check out blah, 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 because then I can look at it next week, right? Fart coin is the answer to the 30-year yield. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah, XMR fundamentally has a great use case for sure. Where do you store Monero? Bro, you can't ask that. You can't ask that question out loud. Can WIF go to 2? Anything can go to anything, my man. Oh yeah, miners. Let's just do a quick 30-second. Where are they at? Boom. Miners daily, WGMI. In the cloud, bullish TK cross. I'd still want this to have a better right shoulder. I don't hate it as a trade. Your upside's a little limited if you're just trading the cloud stuff. And miners have traded awful. So you got to be careful with any assumptions there. They just haven't traded well. Cores through the cloud. Wolf looks okay. Decent upside there. IREN, probably the best looking miner here, just not necessarily like actionability, but price-wise relative to the lows. CleanSpark, just chopping around. Some massive triangle. Marathon, I think there was a better inverted head and shoulders here on Marathon. it's, you know, it's late for an entry now, but sure, it's on its way. Similar to alts, I think when miners, if and when they're able to get out of the cloud jail, maybe it's you know, June, July, then that is a trade worth considering. So something worth stalking is some alert on anything that looks like this. Riot, sure, looks like everything else. Bitfarms, yep, there's a decent setup there. Just look how this thing is traded. Just puke city. Cypher, same deal. Looks like everything else, nothing special there. BT looks okay. Coming off the lows. So you got to pick your poison. What do you like best, miner wise? They all look about the same to me. IREN maybe the best. I thought Gree got acquired. Am I crazy? Kraken keeps crashing. Use 3 different devices. Are you logged in? That's my first question. If you're not logged in, make an account and log in. If you're still logged in and it's crashing, clear your cache on all your browsers. What's my criteria for putting BTC on leverage? I would want to see like a pattern or something that's not just free floating, you know? That's just me. At what point here did anything set up? The best place for a setup was all the way back here. And then it just kind of did its own thing. Like, you know, it broke through the cloud in a day, held above the cloud. What was 30 days after? 30 days before. Like, right. So right there on this candle, again, like if you were waiting for the cloud, you didn't get a great entry, right, on the daily. So going forward, I don't know. What would I want to see? Something on the 4 hour? Something on the 4 hour. But at least back here, you know, again, this wasn't just me talking about this. This is literally everybody. That's not what I want. Now it's going to reset everything. Back here, what did we have? We had 8 months of down chop. We had this. We had a clean breakout. We had an event. So we had a ton of stuff where you could just say, all right, I like what I'm seeing. I like my odds here. I don't see that lining up on the technicals here. So leverage here is tough for me. The cloud doesn't catch continuation the best. Sure it does. You could have said, I don't care what you're saying about the cloud, Joshua, and we'll wind back the clock. Why isn't this working? Oh, we have to go back here. So back here is basically where SWI is. It's where Tau is. It's where Curve is. What do? You wait for, can I go 1 day? Forward. You wait for that. That was at 103. Is it late? It's a little late. You can cheat it. You can add the millisecond we're above the cloud. You say it's go time. We're in trailing stop loss mode. I am flying high, baby. That's what you can do. And that would have worked out here. So it absolutely works for you. You just have to understand what you're trading and say, all right, I know we're not fully bullish yet, but we're on our way. I'm going to start buying. Or you could have said down here. Again, this pattern, we're setting up for something, right? You could have start buying anywhere in here. So that's just me though. That's not Chuck Norris, right? Chuck Norris will trade the cloud how Chuck Norris wants to trade the cloud. Let me exit out of this. Last thing I'll talk about. It's funny I mentioned this and everyone's like, what's the AI settings for the cloud? The AI settings still look great, by the way, but they are quicker and nonsensical, but they are back tested. That was the day the AI cloud said get long. Now, to the untrained eye, you'd say that is a better entry. So it just depends on what you want to do, what you want to trade. I wouldn't use this. This is experimental. These are the settings. They make no sense. The AI picked them. It backtested the daily BTC only. It did not do anything else with any other coin, any other market. So if you're trying to like backtest this, all it's doing is backtesting the daily since like 2022. But in this instance, it did really well. Prior to the breakout in 24, it did really, really well. It did what it needed to do. It's get you on the right side of the trade. So you don't trade the cloud trades you. That's right. You got that right. You got that right. All right, I got to get out of here. Thanks for hanging out. Do me a favor, leave me a comment, a like, whatever. Happy trading. We'll talk again.